Welcome back to DETV's Good Morning Wilmington. First up on the plaza, we have the Executive Deputy Director of the Delaware River Bay Authority. And what else was it?
Wilmington Airport.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Did you see how packed it was?
Yeah.
It was a lot of people in there.
I wish I was at that event. I really do wish I was
I'm
at
going to
that
talk to
event.
this brother because I didn't get my ticket. Stephen Williams, welcome to the plaza.
Thank you. Thank you for having me this morning.
Thanks for coming,
Morning.
man. It's an exciting day for you and Avelo.
It's been a very exciting week. Actually,
Yeah.
we started last Wednesday, as you know. We had a ribbon cutting event at the airport. We had quite a few folks come out to celebrate with us.
Quite a
Wish
few.
you had been there.
Boy,
Quite a
there was a
few.
barbecue out there, man. Everybody
a
was there.
few.
We didn't have the barbecue, but a lot of good folks came out and had the opportunity to travel on that first flight to Orlando.
Yeah.
And in the days after, we started service to different cities in Florida.
Okay.
So a total of 5. So
Okay.
we've now instituted service from Wilmington to Orlando, Fort Myers, Fort Lauderdale,
Wow.
Tampa, and I think that this is a new opportunity. Some cities that we've never been connected to before,
Right.
from Wilmington, and we're real excited about the opportunity. So to get it right, the airline is called Avelo, and you might have seen our billboards and some of the ads in the area. And to get the name right, they say hello Avelo.
Hello, Avelo.
Hello
There you go.
Avelo is how they
I
is
like
how
that.
they're using that.
Hello,
So you get the-
Avelo.
right.
So, first of all, congratulations for
Thank you.
bringing commercial airlines here to Delaware.
Thank you.
How was that even that thought pattern? How did it begin?
Well, for me, it was one of the reasons I came to the DRBA in 2005.
Okay.
Wilmington had been one of those communities in the United States that had a checkered history with air service.
Right.
And it's a very long, the gestation period is very long. It's measured in years. Airlines make decisions about where they want to fly based on their own needs. It's not we'd like to think it's about us,
Right.
but really it's about how do we fit into their network.
Right.
Okay.
And so there are a few opportunities we had before where the airline's strategy changed. So some of the things you may recall about our city and about our network here is that airlines changed strategies and left.
Right.
Right.
And we kept at it. So this really is a story about the vision and the perseverance to stick with it and to eventually find a partner, find an airline partner that, from a strategic perspective, saw opportunity here. All the numbers are here. Demographically, economically, Wilmington and Delaware and the region has everything you would expect, or everything you'd want in terms of density and propensity to travel. So we thought if we could put all that together and keep talking to the airline community,
Right, right.
that we would be successful.
Right.
And so this airline that has come to us now is a startup, essentially. They've been in business, just about a year.
Okay.
But we looked at what they did in New Haven, Connecticut. If you take a look at where they've started operations, they've started in Burbank, California initially,
Okay.
opened a base. And now, about a year ago in New Haven, Connecticut. If you look at what they've done there, the cities that they've connected that part of Connecticut to, we thought if we could do the same thing here in Delaware,
Right.
that it would be a real hit.
Right.
Yes.
And so the key components here are, we're not for everybody. We think that there's a slice of our community that wants nonstop, low-fare jet service to places that everybody wants to fly.
Right.
Of course, the 5 cities in Florida that they started out with. But our hope is that this will grow. So what they've done to partner with us is base an aircraft here in Wilmington.
Right.
Hired 50 employees. What does that translate into? Commitment.
Right.
The airlines that come and go, Wilmington might just be a stop. This airline has said, no, we want to establish a base of operations here in your city.
Right.
And long story of how that happens, but it's a 3-year, actually we've just over 3 years to get to this point.
Right.
A lot of painstaking negotiations,
I'm
and
sure.
it's not just me; it's a team of people behind me.
Understood.
But I think we kept at it, and I think we are really excited that we finally have a dance partner that will stick with us.
Now,
Right.
Stephen, what are the hopes for the airport?
Well, you know, the airport really is a successful airport with or without air service.
Okay.
I call it the 4 C's. There is cargo, corporate, Civil Defense, which is the Air National Guard, of which there are 2 units at the airport, the Air National Guard and the Delaware Army Guard.
Okay.
And then the last C would be commercial.
Okay.
So the airport has that balance of activity. But that missing component was the public in the Wilmington community could not use that airport for the most part, unless you work for a major corporation.
Right.
Or unless you were enlisted in the military. You might think of it as the Newcastle Air Base or whatever. But the airport is the only airport in the state of Delaware with a commercial component. The only airport in the state of Delaware that has this capability, and that has existed for many, many years. So we thought if we could match that last C, the commercial, with an airline partner that saw this as the future for them.
Right.
And we could supply them with the kind of support that they needed to make it work, that now it becomes a question of us. It becomes a question of how are we going to show our partnership, how we're going to use the service.
Right.
And let me be honest, consumers have choices.
Right.
They can go to different airports. But there's a fundamental question that I've always asked myself. Why should citizens in this community travel to border states, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and to a certain extent New Jersey, to get air service? If we can do it here, and there's been a public investment in the airport, we should make it work. We should try our best to make it work.
I totally agree.
Yeah. And one of my questions, okay, you're here in Delaware right now. Let's talk about the economy, right? The ecosystem. Now, a lot of people ask me, I overheard, not ask me, but I overheard, like, are they hiring? What's the future look like here? What, and what is the airline going to be like a good partner for the community?
Right.
Yes.
And so that's a good point. So yes, they had a hiring event a couple weeks back. Once we signed the agreement with them, they began to move equipment in. And as you know, it culminated in last Wednesday, the beginning of the service, and it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, they are teasing the idea of a second aircraft based here, and what every aircraft translates into about 50 jobs.
Right.
And so those are jobs for pilots. Those are jobs for people that maintain aircraft. Those are ground handling personnel.
Right.
So, what we talk about here, what I'd like to talk about is the economic impact of what this means to our community.
Because that's major.
Yes, that's huge.
It also means connectivity for
Right.
Delaware. When I came here in 2005, one of the things that folks impressed upon me was the things that lead to quality of life in Delaware.
Right.
Accessibility is number one.
Yes.
One of those, I should say. How do people in Delaware get to, and how do people get here?
Right.
Conventions, visitors, business travel. All of that is embodied in the work that I do,
Right.
Along with a team of people to make that happen. So we're real hopeful that this is just the beginning of a partnership that will last for many, many years.
And can you real quick tell us again, just if someone just tuned in, the cities that
Okay,
you'll be
so
flying to?
Orlando, Tampa, Fort Myers, Fort Lauderdale, and West Palm Beach.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So that was the one I left out before. So again, cities in Florida that people want to travel to.
Right. Disney World, yeah.
Disney World, folks that want to go to spring training.
Yeah.
Tampa, actually, our flights have been full so far.
That's great.
And I think that's a result of the response and a recognition on our part. We're doing this a little differently too.
Okay.
We're putting energy and thought and money behind, and innovation behind our marketing efforts as well.
Right.
We're all over social media.
I see that.
Yes, that is very true. Whoever's in charge of that is doing a very good job.
Yeah,
'Cause
and
I
I
thought that as
think
well.
I think we've recognized, the world is different since we had our first air service, 10, 15 years ago.
Right.
Very much so.
Where it's not organic anymore. It actually is the result of influencers and people that communicate, like you.
Right.
It's word of mouth. It's getting spokespeople out there like me. I'm a cheerleader for it, of course. But at the same time, it is going to be about people using the service.
Yeah.
So that's really the story, and
Yes.
we're really we're excited, we're hopeful, and it means good things for all of us.
For all of us. It's a win-win for all of us.
It's a win-win for all of us. Absolutely.
Is that, with the schedule, the flights, is that considered a structured flight schedule?
Well, again, This airline does it slightly differently.
Okay.
They recognize that the leisure customer has certain days of the week that are preferable to travel. Let's put
Okay.
it that way.
What are those days?
Well, let's just say in most cases, you depart on a Thursday.
Right.
Very true.
And you have a couple of overnights, and you're probably returning on a Sunday or Monday.
That's when you
Okay.
can write it off when you're a business owner.
So you won't see them flying on a Tuesday, for instance. Tuesday is across the airline industry, not just Wilmington,
Right.
Okay.
is a day that travel is not preferred on that day for a lot of people, for obvious reasons. But in a leisure, and that's not true for business customers, by the way. Business people travel all
When
week
they
long.
need to.
Right.
But in the leisure environment, travel is definitely focused on those days.
Okay.
And so that's what this airline has responded to. And again, that's just the beginning. That just doesn't mean they're just going to connect us to Florida.
Right.
We're real hopeful that non-Florida cities will follow. But it's not just throwing things against the wall to see what will stick.
Right.
There's a lot of data behind everything I'm talking to you about.
Right.
here this
Excellent,
morning.
excellent. So a lot of thought process was put into the decision making, clearly.
Yes.
And there is more room for growth
Yes.
and development. So stay tuned, obviously,
Yes.
and which is exciting for Delaware.
Absolutely.
That's really, really exciting for Delaware. We should
Absolutely.
have an airline in Delaware. We should have
Absolutely.
people traveling to and from our state, because as you said before, the economic development, it's very good for the economy, it's very good for small businesses. Let's bring people to the state.
Yes.
And I think that is essential. So that's very good that you're thinking of all this, and there's a lot of data behind it.
A lot of data behind it. It's a very iterative process. I won't tell you the places I've traveled to meet with airlines.
Okay.
but
You've
it
done your
has
homework?
A lot of homework, a lot of background work, and I think we see and they see the opportunity. The population in Delaware is growing.
Yes, it
A
is.
lot of transplants like me that came from other places. I've been here a while, but
He's a Delaware native now.
But and the thing is that people still travel.
Right.
And I've said before, to others that flying has become more affordable.
Yes.
Right? $39, $49 fares, very attractive.
Wait a minute, that's your fares?
Now that their fares.
Okay.
But you have to go on and look.
I'm going to be booking a trip.
Fares are reasonable.
Let's put
Florida.
reasonable fares.
Yes.
And I will also say the value component of what we offer at Wilmington, when you include the entire cost of your trip, parking and all of that, is very much value driven and very competitive.
Right.
So even though you're wearing an Eagles jersey, you can depart from the local airport to go wherever you want. I mean, very much about fly local, very much about, there are certain things we'll still go to the big cities for,
Right.
but if we can do it here, which we're hopeful we can,
Right.
then we think we have a winner.
How long was that flight from here to from Delaware to Florida?
Well, the longest segment will be about 2.5 hours to Fort Lauderdale in southern Florida.
Gotta love that.
It's a quick flight to
That's
Florida.
the quick flight.
Right, I love that.
Yeah.
Well, was there any other information that we did not mention that you wanted to make note of? Because we are starting to wrap up this interview, and I wanted to make sure if there was any other contact information.
Look, there are all kinds of
course.
reasons to be happy and pleased about this, but it's what it brings to us. It's the federal dollars that will accrue to the airport for improvements as well. But again, from a commercial component, this is about the airline and using the airline. So if you look at our billboard, look at the billboards that are out there, it is about Hello Avelo.
Hello, Velo.
And their website is where you go to buy the product.
Right.
And I think that you'll find the fares are competitive. And again, Florida's just a start with the 5 cities.
Right.
But we're hoping for more.
And congratulations again for being
you.
a part of the Delaware River and Bay Authority. Is there anything you want us to know about that?
Well, this is, I wear several hats at the
I know, I
DBRA,
see.
right? The airport director is just one of those things, but we are about economic development as well. And what we do in the area, we manage several airports throughout the region, not just Wilmington.
Right.
But what we do every day is to try to match resources. And we're a transportation organization largely. We operate the Delaware Memorial Bridge. We also operate the Cape May Lewis Ferry that connects southern Delaware and southern New Jersey. So we're very much about the community and our role in the community and what we do. So the DRBA is very much a corporate partner here.
Right.
Excellent.
Love it. Stephen, thank you so much for
Yes.
coming on.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna go get my ticket. I gotta go to Florida real quick.
Well, make
during
sure you
lunch.
still show up to work for Good Morning Wilmington because I can't do the show without you.
We can Zoom me in. What's up, everyone? It's your main man, Big Ob, the talk of the town, Mr. DETVCH.com, and I'm here with my wonderful and amazing co-host,
Vincenza.
We just stopped by to tell you to be sure, if you want any information on what's going on in Wilmington and to meet some dynamic people doing some amazing and great things, be sure to watch us live on Good Morning Wilmington on Mondays and Wednesdays at 10 p.m.
Oh, Ivan, 10 a.m.
Which he said, 10 a.m.
Listen to me, that's why he has me here. But yes, tune in live, 10 a.m. Monday and Wednesday on Good Morning Wilmington.
DETVCH.com.